Greetings, Universus Players, and welcome back to another video. My name's Willie T, and today I'm going to be talking about the newly revealed character cards, as well as a few assorted other cards from the Critical Role, Vox Machina, and Mighty Nein Challenger Series decks that we just had revealed earlier this morning. I want to give my first impressions on these, on the character cards, the pretty much everything that there is to see about these so far, and kind of what I expect out of things in the future, just from both a product and a design standpoint. I have no insight into this. I really don't know what's coming. This is all speculation, so take everything I say with a huge grain of salt. This is going to be just kind of based off of observations of things like what are on your screen. I'm going to start with Vax'ildan, Cunning Thief. Vax is a 7 hand size, 22 health character on the air, death, and water symbols. He has the Thief and Vox Machina trait, and he has 2 abilities. He has Enhance your ranged or weapon attack gets +3 speed. It gets -1 speed for each other attack in your card pool. And he also has a Form, Commit 1 Foundation. Your rival loses 1 health for each attack in your card pool. Clear 1 card from your card pool. Those are some pretty cool words. Being able to just get bonus speed for free on your first 3 attacks is really nice. And the fact that it kind of goes down as you go is a good balancing factor. It keeps him from being absolutely crazy wild, but he's still got a lot of potential output. And the form is nuts. Once you get 3 ranged or weapon attacks in your card pool, you just kind of go, yeah, I'm just gonna burn you for 3, clear 1 of them, and keep going, because now I'm getting no speed bonus anyway. Let's just keep it going. So this is a very cool string character, and we also get to see his UR from the Challenger deck called Dagger, Dagger, Dagger. It's a 6 diff with a 3 control, 2+ low block. It's a 3 high for 6. It has static text. While this card is in your card pool, each of your attacks with dagger or daggers in its name gets -1 difficulty. Enhance. Spend 1 momentum. Add 1 card with dagger or daggers in its card name that is not named Dagger, Dagger, Dagger from your hand, or from your discard pile or momentum to your hand. Sorry. There's a couple of things I want to call out here. First is the specific terminology, spend 1 momentum. This is new, and I expect this is what we're going to see going forward, making sure that there is a differentiation between spending momentum, discarding momentum, and all other things like that. I suspect spend will be indicative of costs and things like that. I don't know what it will be in terms of the term, as far as what it would be to get rid of a rival momentum and how that interacts. So that's something that we're gonna have to see. But either way, this card's cool. I think that the static on this is really nice. The fact that it's a 6 diff might hold this back, and it's not particularly well statted for a 6 diff, which makes it kind of rough, but it is a really good opener. Being able to just jam this on a 6, make everything else better for you, depending on how things go with the other cards released. This could be really cool. The thing that I do want to call out with this UR is a couple of design choices that can be made. The Vox Machina deck splits time between Vax'ildan and Vex'alia, which means that we're going to see cards for both of them in this Challenger series. So I fully expect this is going to be very similar in structure to the Clash decks, where we're going to see 2 copies of the UR, 3 copies of some things, but very seldom a 4 of in the attack lineup. And that is something that I fully expect with this. I also, given that we have the Vox Machina tag, I fully expect that there is the possibility of something that is a Vox Machina group attack, something that's a little bit more off these symbols that supports other things. Because there is a possibility that they could get more of these characters from the team in the future. And I think leaving that design space open is a possibility for them, though I think it is a bit remote. This does want to focus on Vax and Vex, so I don't know how much of the other team or other team members is going to be present in this deck. The other thing I want to call out is the nomenclature of dagger or daggers. Currently, we only have one card in the standard format that has dagger in its name, and that is Deception Dagger, the SR from Jetburn. So the efficacy of this card will depend very heavily on how many other things with dagger or daggers in their name are present in this deck in order to make that sub-archetype work. I fully expect this deck is designed in such a way that if you want 4 of almost anything from it, you need to buy 2 challenger decks. So I do want to lay that out there. I fully expect you will have to do that in order to get what you really, really want out of this deck. So keep that in mind whether you are playing Vax or not. With that said, let's move on to the next character, and that is Vexalia, Resourceful Hunter. Vex is a 6 hand size, 29 health character on the air, earth, and life symbols. Vex has the text, before the game begins, search your deck for 1 copy of Mark Your Prey and put it in your discard pile. We'll talk about that momentarily. It's on the screen right now. She also has a second static. The first copy of Mark Your Prey you play each turn does not count toward progressive difficulty. Also, very good text. Response. At the start of your combat phase, add 1 copy of Mark Your Prey from your discard pile to your hand. And enhance, commit. The next ranged weapon attack you try to play ignores progressive difficulty and gets +3 damage. Vex is very restricted on her keywords, which means that we're winding up with both Vax and Vex having ranged and weapon on pretty much all of their attacks, I would expect. I would not be shocked to see either other keywords being on there or some combination of these where one or the other is lacking in some of these attacks in order to facilitate more diverse attack lineups for these characters. Regardless, Vex, in order for us to get a real picture of things, we also need to read Mark Your Prey. Mark Your Prey is a 3-diff, 5-check action with a 2+ high block. While this card is in your card pool, your ranged attacks, ranged and or weapon attacks get +1 speed. Enhance your attack, your rival flips 1 foundation. And enhance card pool, mill 1. If you milled an attack this way, your ranged attack gets +3 damage. Otherwise, it gets +1 damage. Mark Your Prey is a very cool action that allows you to get really good enhance economy out of your card pool. Very, very cool action to have, and it gives us a bit more insight into what Vex is trying to do, and that is that she is trying to get some big damage ranged weapon attacks, which fits what she is in game. She's a ranger. She's here to do a lot of damage at range, and I think she's going to be very good at it. She is going to be throwing some big haymakers. We're going to have to see how much card draw she's going to have available to her, because she's like a 6 hand size Eraserhead in a lot of ways, where she has this card that is integral to her game plan that you have to play in your deck, and you're able to just get one into your discard pile to start, but you're gonna have to see the rest of them. And it's going to be an interesting time to see how this kind of goes, how it interacts with things. But she also is going to be able to just get one for free every turn. So maybe it's not going to be the same deck building tax that Erase is. Though she interacts very favorably with this character, or with this action, and I think that's going to be very beneficial for her. Long story short, I think Vex is going to be very strong. She has a lot of the hallmarks of some of the best aggro characters in the format, but she's also going to have a lot of cool tricks up her own sleeve to really just go nuclear and make some really, really big attacks go through. One observation that I do have is that both Vex and Vax share the air symbol, but the other symbols that they have are different, meaning that most likely out of the box, this is an air symbol deck. But we do have support sprinkled in for other symbols within this deck. So far, what we have seen, it is death, water, earth, and life. But that doesn't mean that the possibility of other members of Vox Machina showing up on cards is zero. So we could see some other symbol combinations. It's just very likely that air is going to be the consistent one across all of them for this challenger deck. With that said, let's move on to the Mighty Nein Challenger Series, starting with Jester Lavore, Prankster Priestess. Jester is a 6 hand size, 31 health character, so she's relatively beefy. She's up there with Endeavor 3 and Endeavor 2. Enhance, spend 1 momentum, add 1 spell card from your discard pile to your hand. So spell being a keyword on cards going forward is likely to be a thing. Enhance once per turn, commit 1 foundation. Your rival spends 1 momentum. Both players add the top card of their deck to their momentum. So Jester is very capable of messing with your rivals' resources in that way, being able to force out some of their momentum that they may be saving for something, giving them something blind, messing with a lot of the face-up momentum abilities that we're starting to see. And it also, with the new format of things, the new rules changes, where you are able to look at your momentum, it might force some changes on how your rival interacts with that and what they spend. So this is an interesting character. She is on the Chaos, Fire, and Life symbols. A very interesting symbol combination, not something that I have seen a lot of. But let's talk about Wound Restore. This is Jester's action. It is a 3 difficulty, 4 control action with a 3+ mid block. It has the spell keyword, so she is able to pick this up from her discard pile. It has first enhance, remove, gain 5 health. Relatively solid ability. Nothing too crazy there. 5 health is a lot. But we have seen stuff like this on Recovery Time and other cards before. I don't expect 5 health is going to be a make or break. The thing that I think is the make or break here is enhance, remove. If your attack deals damage, your rival loses 4 health. This does not say non-throw. That makes, this is effectively +8 damage to a throw in a lot of ways, because a lot of times throws get half blocked. So it's like just adding extra stuff on top of there. I have been dealing with a lot of Mina 2 lately, and this card definitely interacts very favorably with the Froppy Throw from Jetburn, and with Mina being able to go, here's a ranged throw, I'm going to burn you for all my card pool cards, and here's Wound Restore as well. We're going to burn you for 4 more on top of that. And this does not have the clause that it cannot kill your rival. So this is very scary. I think this card is probably the most powerful of the cards that I have seen here. Just on that enhance alone. I think this is wild. But next, let's take a look at her partner in crime. Not the Brave, Irritable Goblin. Not is a 7 hand size, 22 health character on the Chaos, Death, and Void symbols, meaning that the Mighty Nein deck is a Chaos symbol deck as far as we can tell. Enhance twice per turn. Add the top card of your discard pile to your hand. Discard one random card. If you discarded a copy of the same card, add it to your momentum. This already is going to encourage you to play a lot of 4 copies of any given card, so you can hit this more consistently to get things into your momentum. But this is a really cool little mini game that's available to Not. I'm not 100% sure how powerful this is. Occasionally getting a free momentum is cool, but also sometimes just getting the card you need to kill your rival is going to be beneficial. But sometimes you get nothing or you discard it. So there's a give and take here, which is really cool. Additionally, she has Enhance Mill 1. If you have less health than your rival, your attack gets +1 damage and gains Stun 1. This is a really cool ability for a 7 hand size character to have. Being able to pretty much start with this live and being able to sort of manipulate your own health, specifically on the death symbol, being able to cut health for costs in order to make things happen and keep that ability online for most of the game. Play a bit of cat and mouse with your rival is very, very cool. Being able to stun out your rival's board over the course of a string is very scary. I have witnessed that many, many times, and it makes me cry a little bit. But I think this character is very cool. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff going on with this character that we can see in the future. But I think we need to see the full kit in order to really know what is in Not's bag of tricks. Besides Not's Flask, which is a 1 difficulty, 5 check asset with a 2+ mid block. After you build this asset, add 3 booze counters to it. If there are no booze counters on this card, your attacks get -2 speed. So you gotta stock up on the booze. Enhance Commit, remove 1 booze counter. This attack gets +3 or -3 damage. Very, very handy, very good versatile ability here. I like this a lot. Enhance once per turn, mill 3. If you did not mill an attack this way, add 1 booze counter to this card. Very, very cool ability to be able to keep this thing online and make sure that things are available. One thing to note, this does not have unique. This is a very cool asset that you could play multiples of and really just have a ton of damage or speed, damage control that is available to you, either positive or negative, being able to keep that up and then self-milling a ton in order to just keep up the booze counters on all of them could be really cool. I think this is an interesting card, but I don't think it is the craziest thing. I do think that as far as for what we've seen so far, I do think that Wound Restore from Jester's kit is probably the strongest thing we've seen here. But we're gonna have to see what else the rest of the decks bring to the fore. Before we go, I do have to talk about the art and the alternate arts that we can acquire through the collector's boosters. The alt arts here for Vax'ildan and Vex'ahlia are incredible. I love the zoomed in wanted poster style. The colors are vibrant. They really bring a lot of character to these twins, really makes them pop. I love the way that these look. And we also get the similar treatment for Not and Jester. Very, very nice pastel color palettes on these. They're very, very nice. I like this a lot. I'm excited to see more of these come down the pipeline. I am hoping that we get more Critical Role Challenger Series or a set, something in the future. I would love to see the rest of these casts get put onto cards that we can play and we can really get something out of it. I'm really hoping that eventually we get Grog because he is by far my favorite character from all of these so far. So I am excited to see what we get in the future. Until next time, leave a comment with what you're looking forward to out of these Challenger decks. Tell me what you're excited for. Subscribe, and until next time, just watch me.